This is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here. Continuing to talk about the chakra system. So I'm using a little bit of Florida water that I use whenever I'm going to be using my cards because I want to cleanse my hands before I touch them. So I came across is a Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. And today we're going to focus on some stories that will help us with the root chakra. Now, let me go ahead and do a little bit of an intro, okay? It says, within the body, there lies 7 main energy centers. So there's more that are outside of the body, but within the body, there are 7. And those are the ones that I'm going to focus on with you guys. We can't see or feel them. They won't show up on an x-ray or an MRI, right? These are in your spirit. They're in your soul, your energy centers, okay? And each energy center has a different purpose. For thousands of years, Eastern cultures have recognized their significance to our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. So what I'm trying to do is, I've been always in the Western society, but very interested in Eastern practices because it's a very diverse culture that I was raised in. So I've learned a lot from a lot of different people from different ethnicities. And I want to try to help people blend Eastern and the Western medicine, okay? To me, that is what unites the union of Christ within you. Right? We have to get the energies in alignment in order for us to get the wisdom that God has for you, because you have your own special blueprint. I once had my son who's on the autism spectrum, and he asked me, guidance on, as a young adult in his, 20 years old, asking me, guidance on what direction to go, what path. And all I can do as his mother and life coach, mom, as we call it, and a guide, that it's not for me to tell him which path to go down. I mean, yes, as a child but I always gave options. I said, okay, limited, controlled chaos. I'd be like, okay, you can do this or you can do that. You could do this, that, or the other. So as the adult, as the elder, as the wisdom keeper of your family and the lineage, you don't want to dictate and manipulate and control outcomes. You want to guide and help them to see things, not just with their eyes, but to see things and to know things that they can't get from any other person outside of them. They have to go to God in order to get that wisdom, to gain that information. But if your centers are not aligned, if your energy sources are not clean and pure, well, then you're going to get navigated all over this world like a big old labyrinth. And, anybody who's a video gamer knows that sometimes you can go down the wrong corner and then you got to fight a whole mob boss, right? So I raised my children that, yes, we're neurodivergent and we're weird. I get that. But I taught them how to follow their own cosmic blueprint and trying to teach them healthy attachment and emotional regulation through co-regulation. And there's so many things that I can help you with. So if you're interested in more information, please reach out at homans.consulting@gmail.com for a free consultation so we can talk more about my Starseed launch program. And I also have a 90-day complete family mentorship program. And I also have a Getting on the Same Page program. And all 3 of those have self-help workbooks available on Amazon KDP. So you can get those there. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about these centers. So it is through these centers, known as chakras, that life force energy, which is also known as prana or chi, flows. So although there are more than 100 chakras in and around our bodies, the chakra energy deck focuses on what are considered the 7 major energy centers, I've gone from being very Pentecostal and shamanism to now going into chakras. And so people who are used to me being very in the religion world are struggling with me adding in the spiritual, which I've always done, but I did it in private. And now I'm integrating that into my religious world, and I'm seeing who are of the false light and who are of the real light and who are demonic. So if you need help with that, let me know. Okay, so this deck focuses on what are considered the 7 major centers. They're arranged vertically, beginning at the base of the spine, moving to the top of the head. The first one is what I started working on, is the root chakra, and you'll find tomorrow or whenever you see this, if you look at the next videos, I'm starting to break down each of those chakras to give you some meditation, some mantras, some yoga poses, some information on the benefits, just to help anybody who has seen the Eastern practices as being evil and demonic. Because really, once you blend the Eastern practices and the Western practices, you see it completes the whole picture the way Christ did. Because most people don't understand that he was a yogi and he was a mystic and ascended master, but not an idol for us to worship. So I'll save that for another video. So you have the root chakra is at the base. Next up would be the sacral chakra, and that would be more of like, I believe, like around your pelvis. And then the solar plexus chakra, I believe, is more around your belly button. And then you have your heart chakra, which is obviously in your chest. Your throat chakra, which is the one that I've been working on for the last 2 years. Thank you, Lord, for helping me clear that. And you have your third eye, which I do like taps to keep it moving and active, get that energy flowing so I know what to do, because your third eye is usually always under attack and you just don't even realize it. So, and then your crown chakra is the top of your head. And again, sometimes I tap there because, again, people want to try to radio frequency control you like a remote control bot, right? So we want to make sure that the crown chakra is also always clear. The first 3 chakras, those lower triangle, may be thought of as our foundation. Grounded in the physical realm, they cover basic life necessities, security and survival, then sexuality and intimacy, and then identity and willpower. So those are those first 3 chakras. The 4th chakra deals with love and compassion and is regarded as the balance point and the bridge to the 3 upper chakras, which are referred to as the higher triangle. These centers are associated with more spiritual realms, expression and truth, wisdom and connection to the higher self, and then union and transcendence. So those are the 3 upper chakras. A protective energy field known as the aura connects all 7 chakras. The aura is often considered the 8th chakra. In Sanskrit, an ancient Indian language, chakra means wheel or circle. And a lot of this also, I find, translates very well into the medicine wheel of my ancestors, which is the Cherokee Nation. My granny and my papa were from Kentucky, and so I have those roots. And so I found there's a lot of parallels. We're talking about the wheel, right? And then we have a medicine wheel. So it's very interesting how blended everything really is when you can really pull yourself out of your personal avatar identity that's been created by the world around you. And you pull yourself out from a bird's view, from God's view, and you see each of us is a missing piece of the puzzle, right? And that puzzle would never be complete without us, without you. Just never forget that. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about this. It says balanced chakras can be visualized as spinning vortices Now, I've never been able to really visualize the spinning part, but my gifts are different. So I do have visualizations and I do get images and things, but when I am meditating on a person, I don't see the movement of the chakras. Other people do. It says that they would be revolving in a clockwise direction. Oh, maybe I don't see the movement because maybe they're blocked. I just came. Thank you, Spirit. Maybe the people I've been working with, I'm not seeing movement because their chakra is blocked and stagnant. Never thought of that. When imbalanced, chakras may spin counterclockwise and or the energy may move horizontally or vertically. The first chakra, that root chakra, spins at the slowest rate of speed. The seventh, the crown chakra, revolves at the highest. Each chakra is also associated with and stimulated by a specific color and by sounds and vibrate at a similar frequency. And you'll find they'll do a lot of brainwashing with advertisings with colors. So, yellows and blues really people gravitate towards because it's like sunshine and the sky and it's light and it's airy and people like it. Think of the McDonald's arch, right? It's golden. And so people can use colors, also to manipulate. So be aware. The chakras are part of the energy pathway known as the Sushmuna. I'm sorry if I butcher these. It is Sanskrit for spine. Once, when I was 27 years old, I had a doctor was laughing at me because I could hardly walk and told me, "What are you, 27 or 72?" And I was just so livid because I was in so much pain, and I had a walker that my mother-in-law's grandmother, was using. And to have a doctor laugh at me was very memorable. And he told me that if I didn't take better care of myself, that I'd be in a wheelchair. And I was at 330 pounds. So that triggered me, getting laughed at by the medical profession that was supposed to help me. Triggered me to know that I had no friends in this world. Like, even the people that are helping you, he was getting paid to help me. So the spine is very important. And he had told me that I would end up in a wheelchair. I said, no, he didn't know who he's talking to. So here I am. Let's see, I would say I've lost 165. Literally half of who I was. So wherever that doctor is, you were wrong. Okay. Energy moves through the central nervous system along the Sushmana from the base of the spine up through the brain, ending at the tip of the nose. How energy flows in and out of the chakras and up and down this pathway greatly affects us. Balanced chakras allow energy to flow freely, promoting health, vitality, and harmony. Life experiences such as illness, trauma, and stress can result in imbalances, causing chakras to become blocked, which means they're deficient, or overloaded, which means excessive, right? Energy imbalances may produce a wide array of ailments and disturbances. Often the imbalances are temporary, but if persistent, they can result in chronic illnesses, disease, and or habitual patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. Fortunately, the chakras can be cleared, rebalanced, and energized through yoga, controlled deep breathing, which they call pranayama, meditation, chanting, and specific hand positions, which they call mudras, as well as through the use of gemstones and crystals, flower essences, essential oils, and certain foods. Now, my religious people say all of these things are evil. And I just have to disagree. That it's the intent. If you're intending harm, well, then karma is going to bring harm back to you. If you are putting out love, then the universe is going to bring love back to you. So I just want to see people stop judging and just let live. You know, if it's not hurting you and they're not hurting somebody else and they want to look at some chakra oracle cards or you know, do some tarot cards or something, as long as they're not manipulating other people, and even if they are, that's between them and the universe and God, and it's really not your place to judge and intervene. I really think that we have too many people who want to be busybodies in other people's lives, and I say take all that energy that you want to spread out amongst them, pour it into yourself. Work out, journal, find hobbies, you know, read a book, volunteer somewhere, take care of a pet. There are so many things to do in this world that you could literally be happy-go-lucky without really holding on to anybody or having expectations on anybody. Let people come and go freely, and if you don't like who they are, just don't go around them. It is not necessary to know which chakras may be unbalanced, whether they are deficient or excessive, or what is causing the imbalances in order to rebalance them. When the chakras begin to clear, however, you may start to notice that habitual thought patterns change. Your emotions may shift, and the new actions or reactions occur. For instance, you might experience more energy, feel more compassionate, or receive things with more clarity. A creative journey of profound healing and transformation begins. This is where the true healing begins. I know that everybody's running to therapists, and believe me and my children, I got the records to show that I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last, at least 30 years that I've been, an adult and in this profession doing this. And so to add this piece into what I've already been established through religion and through the shamanism and nature and through the Native American background, all I'm doing now is just adding the Eastern practices to that. And I have so many people who think that I'm evil because of that. And it's very sad. It's very eye-opening to see. But I'm glad that we're in the age of Aquarius now, and things are going to change. The chakra energy deck includes 64 cards, so this will be a series of videos that I'll be doing. And all the cards feature a picture, which I'll show you, and then on the other side, it says for me information that I can share with you and some stories that reinforce that. So that's what I plan on doing. There are 9 cards per chakra, and then there's an aura card with an exercise that's designed to awaken auric energy. So each chakra section includes, I'll give you information on how to open that chakra symbol meditation. You'll have 2 breathing exercises. You'll also have 5 yoga poses and then a closing meditation, and you'll have that for each of the chakras. And so those videos will start to post tomorrow if you're watching this live or in real time. Otherwise, just check on the list and you'll find them there. Okay. All right. And then also I wanted to go ahead and let you know some of the crystals that I've researched and found. They said for balancing your chakra using crystals, your crown chakra, which is your consciousness, your spirituality, your inspiration. That one, it says to use clear quartz. To help balance your third eye, it says, which is your intuition, concentration, and your insight, to use amethyst, which happens to be my birthstone, so I always have amethyst on me. For your throat chakra, you have communication, your self-expression, and your honesty. And most of us have people in our lives who want to keep that hush-hush, so they have blocks put on your throat chakra that you have to actively, from the inside, remove. And I can help you with that if you would like. Just go ahead and reach out. But the stone for your throat chakra would be lapis lazuli. The next one would be your heart chakra, And that is for love, compassion, and sincerity. And that would be green aventurine. For the solar plexus chakra, which is your strength, your confidence, your determination, this is one of the ones they like to try to knock you out, and you just got to do that work. But they suggest that you use citrine for that one. Then you have your sacral chakra, which, believe me, lots of people are after that sacral chakra because that's your passion, that's your endurance, that's your creativity. And they say for that one to use chameleon. And I do have a healing stone that I use because I am certified as a Moonai rights practitioner through the Four Winds, and had training on how to do energy medicine using my gifts. So if you would like more information, again, reach out. And the last one we have for the root chakra, which is your grounding, your stability, and safety. And this one is the key one. This is where you have fear of money, fear of, losing your job, fear of your kids being hurt, like that fear happens in the root chakra, which is why I focus when I'm working with people mainly on the root chakra. I figure if I can help you unlock the root chakra, then you'll keep going and figure it out. But that root chakra is usually the hardest one, and you have to set that one first in order for the others to kind of like be easier to put into alignment, at least from my perspective. Other people might have different perspectives. And if they gave you instructions here on cleansing and charging your healing crystals, it says your crystals have traveled a long way. Therefore, it's important to cleanse and charge them. Cleansing brings crystals back to its pure state, and charging recharges the crystals with its healing properties. Now, what I do for charging is I just put them in my windowsill and I let the sun or the moon, because you can charge with either, right? So you can use sun force energy or you can use moon energy. So to cleanse, here's another way. It says to use sound vibration from a Wishwell singing bowl. Now, you don't have to use Wishwell, but that's who they're promoting. You can also light Palo Santo or a sage stick and allow the smoke to drift over those crystals. You can also hold them under running cold water or place crystals in a bowl of sea salt water. Oh, that's to cleanse. Oh, to charge. See, I'm learning. Just give me a second here. To charge is to place them in the spot where they will receive the direct sunlight or moonlight. I was ahead of myself. You also, to charge, can place them in natural running water, such as river, a lake, or an ocean. And you can also use other stones such as selenite, citrine, or amethyst clusters. So each crystal is unique in size, color, and shape, making each set special. I think of that when I work with people. It's like, each one of us is so different and so unique. And I just don't like that the world wants us to all be cookie cutter little toy soldiers, and we all do what they say and we line and we make the money and then we die. And it's like, there's so much more, so much more. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. It's a little bit longer than I usually like, and I look forward to talking with you in the next one. Have a great day.